Everybody, today we are talking about weddings. Now weddings are very exciting, but then weddings are very serious, number one, and they are very sensitive. One, because this is a person's story. It's only done once, and so you cannot afford to mess it up as a photographer. But before we go to it, I would like you to welcome you to our channel today. Thank you very much for listening to us and coming to view our channel. We are very excited to have you as we talk about weddings and 6 tips that you need to have or you need to know when you want to venture into wedding photography. So before we go to the tips, I would like to tell you a short story that when I started photography, my first wedding was a mess. This is because I knew nothing about wedding photography. Now, weddings are very difficult to shoot because there's a lot of pressure. Remember, there is no scripting, there is no waiting, things are in a rush, and so you have no time to sit down and calculate your shot or maybe look at your camera and have the right exposure. You need to be very fast and quick about doing things. And so during our first wedding, we really messed up because we did things 90% of the things were the wrong way. We used wrong cameras. At a point reached where we had to switch from manual to auto because things were running too fast. And that wedding was not really good to us. Even the client was not so happy. But then the reason is because we do not have any experience in shooting weddings. So most photographers tell their students or their clients that they need to start with wedding photography because all other genres of photography can be found in wedding photography. But that is not my advice because there's no point of you going book a wedding and you have no experience, then mess the wedding for the person, because wedding is really intimate, it's really emotional, it's really so close to a person's heart because it's only once. And so what I suggest is that you need to gain experience, and that's why I'm making this video, to help us with 6 tips to becoming a wedding photographer. And so we start with number 1. You need to develop your skill. So how do you develop your skill? So the way you develop your skill is getting experience, and you get experience by assisting another photographer. You do not get experience by booking a wedding alone and doing it because you'll mess it up. You need to get assistance, or maybe to get an internship in a wedding photography business and working as an assistant. Now there's a difference between being an assistant and being a second shooter. Now an assistant is a person who carries the lights, a person who holds the lights, or maybe carries the camera bags. That way it's easier for you to learn. Now a second shooter is as good as the photographer, and so if you're not experienced, do not take a job as a second shooter. Take a job as an assistant. Now an assistant will be able to learn how a wedding day flows, how photos are taken, where to focus on, whom to focus on. So it is important for you to become an assistant so that you can learn how a wedding is done. Now make sure you don't book a wedding before you really are confident enough that you can shoot a wedding alone, because you'll mess up. Now from that particular incident, I made sure that I went and interned for one of the best photographers in the country, and I learned so much. And after that, when I came, I booked very many weddings in a very short time because I had gained experience and I really served them well. So it's beneficial for you to go and get skilled before shooting your first wedding alone. Now number 2, you need backup. Now backup of so many things. You need backup of camera, of batteries, of sound, of lights, of photographers. Now remember, if you do not have a team for yourself as a company, you need to hire people out. You need to hire a second shooter or an assistant. Now you need backup for all these people. For example, your camera may fail to work. I remember in a recent wedding when I went to shoot, I remember one of my cameras, it had only one battery, and that battery failed to work, absolutely failed to work, and I could not use that camera. Luckily, I had other cameras with other photographers. At least they could be able to complement it. But then if I had an extra battery, it will be better and easier. And so it's good to have backup for everything. Backup for even storage. Remember, all our SD cards can get full, and so you need backup on where you can offload all your images to. And so it's important for you to have backup for everything. If you have, for example, assistants, you need to have like 3 assistants, an alternative A, B, and C, because the alternative A may be booked in another wedding, and so you need an alternative B and C. If you don't have a camera, you need to have a place you can hire cameras, extra cameras. You need to have at least, for photography, you need to have at least 4 cameras in a wedding, because one may fail and you just pick the other. So backup is important. Remember, you have no time to explain to your client that, wait, first of all, do not say your vows, let me go and get another camera and come back, so then you can start the vows again. You have no such time, you have no such liberty in a wedding. So it's move. So you need backup of everything, absolutely everything. Number 3 is a short list. Now, even I fail in this, but then a short list is important. The way short list is important is because it does not really cap your creativity, but it helps you not mess up or miss shots. For example, there are some things that are very, very important in a wedding day. For example, during the preparations, you need to shoot the gown, you shoot the shoes, the jewelry, the cologne, that kind of stuff. When you go to the ceremony, you need to shoot the vows, maybe the family members, such stuff. When you have a short list, it's important for you to first get the shots in the short list. Then now you can become creative with other stuff, so that you cannot miss important shots or important pictures during the wedding. This also works as a wedding videographer. If you are a wedding videographer, you need to have a short list so that you can have the most important shots covered first. Then the rest, you can do them as creative shots. A short list is important because there is a lot of pressure during the wedding. And so if you have so much pressure, you may forget to do some things and do the others. And the things that you have forgotten are the most important. So a short list keeps you controlled, and when you have completed the short list, then you can become creative as you desire, so to add value to your wedding. So make sure that you have a short list, follow the short list, and after that you can then become creative. Especially give the short list to your assistants and to your second shooters who have never shot with you, so that they can have a structured way, the way they cover the wedding for you. Number 4 is location scouting. Now this is very, very important for your wedding, because you are maybe having the wedding in a location you have never been before, and maybe you are doing a photo shoot in a location that you have never been before. It's important for you to go either the previous day or earlier, before the couple goes into the place or people assemble to the place, and see the location. Look at what are the best places to be, what are the best places to stand, to take pictures from, whether it's in the photo shoot, the best sceneries which you can get the amazing pictures which you can be creative on. It's important for you to have a location scouting before the wedding day, if not way earlier than the wedding day. So make sure that you have a location scouting. It also will entice and will help you have creative juices. You'll be able to think about stuff. For example, also when you're doing wedding videography, it's important for you to have a location scouting, so that you can know where to place your lights, where to have this shot, or where to place your cameras, where to place the bride and the groom, where to place many other things. So location scouting is important. Remember that you do not have an idea of the place that you are in. If you don't have an idea of the place, then how can you be creative about it? So make sure that you visit the place way before. You can have your event planner arrange for you to go way before, or maybe the bride and the groom themselves, they can assist you on how you can access the place, and go and take even notes. Take a book and a pen or your phone and write notes. This place, take pictures, so that you can go and visualize about them. So location scouting is very, very, very important. Number 5 is PR. Now what do you mean by PR? Is public relations. Now remember, you are a wedding photographer, and when you are photographing a wedding, there are so many people involved in the wedding. There is the event planner, there is the decor person, there is the videographer if you are the photographer, there is the photographer if you are the videographer, there is also the hospitality person, there is the bride and the groom themselves. There are those people who have come for the wedding themselves. Now it's important for you to have a skill of interacting with people. Now, interaction is important because these people can be a stumbling block to you getting amazing pictures or amazing videos to your wedding. So have good PR with people, have good PR with the decor person, have good PR with the events manager, have good PR with the cake vendor. Everybody who is involved in the wedding, you should be able to have a good relationship with them. This means that you'll have an easy time working during the wedding, number 1. And secondly, these same people can give you other jobs even after the wedding if you cultured a good relationship with them. So PR is very, very important. Make sure that you know how to speak to them. have the right tone to speak to them, make sure that you make them feel at home, and make sure they are pleased to work with you. Then you will create a great relationship, and also you will have an easy time as you work for your wedding clients. So if you do not know how to communicate with people, make sure that you have that skill. Make sure that you study PR, how to interact with people, how to make sure that how to handle situations when you are under pressure. Do not shout, do not raise your voice, because especially the crowd, people may come with their phones and cameras and just come in front of you when you're just about to take the shot. Have the skill on how to talk to them and tell them, hey, I think this is what the bride and groom need, and so I can send you the pictures afterwards maybe. And just know how to interact with them. PR is very, very important. The last but not the least is the tools. Know your tools. One, because the wedding day is a very fast day. It's a place where there is no time for you to sit down and relax, because everybody is on the move. There is action. It's action oriented. And so if you don't understand your tools, especially your camera tools, for example, your camera settings, lights, you don't understand your lights, you don't understand your assistants and the people that you're working with, it's good for you to understand your tools, because your tools are helping you do the job. Make sure that you understand and you really understand your camera tools, the ISO, the aperture, the shutter speed, you understand your temperature, you understand your white balance, you understand everything about your tools, you understand light, how to control the intensity of light, the strength of light. Make sure that everything that you're using on the wedding day, you understand it, because these are your tools. If you do not understand your tools, then you are 90% down, because you will not achieve anything during the wedding day. So make sure that your tools are on your fingertips, you know everything in and out. If you have hired a new camera, make sure that the previous day you have sat down with it and you have understood it, because it will bring a great problem during the wedding day if you do not understand it. If you have a new light, if you have a new assistant, you have briefed him or her how you work and what you would want for them, what is required of them. Make sure that you have that briefing. But most importantly, have your tools at your fingertips so that you can have an easy way or an easy time working on your wedding day. So I hope those 6 tips are very, very important. Remember that they are not the only tips for our wedding, but they are the most important ones, because I have passed through so many problems shooting weddings, and I prefer that these 6 tips should be handled first. So thank you very much for listening. If you have ever shot a wedding and you have an amazing story to tell, maybe you have passed through hell using a client, or maybe you messed up a client, we'd love to hear your story. Make sure that you put it on the comment section below. We'd like to see your experiences, what you passed through when you were shooting a wedding, whether you messed up something. I remember in one of my weddings, I edited almost 1,000 photos using the Photoshop camera raw. You can bet I used almost 3 weeks to edit the photos. I did not know anything about Lightroom, but then those are the things that I have passed through when shooting weddings. If you have such stories, put them in the comment section below. Also, would like you to subscribe to our channel, because we have more episodes like these about weddings and other kinds of photography, other genres of photography. Be sure to subscribe. Click on the bell icon for you to get notifications every time we release a new video. Also, follow us on our social media. Follow us on our Facebook page. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And also, we would like you to join our secret Facebook page, which the link is in the description below. There is where we have all of this consolidated. We have more and more information and value for you as a photographer. So thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you for listening to Creative Life, and we are so excited for you have decided to make us part of your creative journey. Thank you, and until next time, let's be creative.